Brian Daboll, also dismissed here. We got the dismiss week, man. This is a dismiss show that we're having. So Brian Daboll dismissed. You're saying need to be out of here. I have a little bit of a caveat to that, but we will let you go kind of first here. You're saying Daboll deserved to be gone. What you're going?
Deserved? Oh, I thought we were more going on. Oh, I got it mixed up. I thought we were going more on of Dabo Sweeney. So sorry.
No, I'm talking Brian Daboll, man.
Oh, Brian Daboll.
Dabo. I mean, come on, man. Because Brian is
sorry,
like that. This is like the Daboll week here, man. This is like the week of the fire. We got Daboll and we got Nico week. And I think if anything, Russell probably got him fired, man. That Russell, goodness,
Russell's
man.
Got a lot of people fired at this point.
When Russell got in there, that looked abysmal. Like it looked like Russell didn't even practice, man. Like, did you plan on coming in? Like, they call your name, you're just shocked, and you go in there, and then the Cinderella slippers came off, and Russ looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
What is your fact? Well, which one? Or do you think he should have been gone, or do you think?
I think he should have been. I mean, here's the thing. The one thing let's just concentrate on the one thing he didn't do was protect his quarterback. He's young quarterback.
That's a big QB runs, brother. Some of those QB runs, maybe you dial those back.
26 designed runs for your young quarterback who's not. Here's the thing
not Cam Newton size wise. Tell you that.
Not size wise. And here's the thing with Russ. With Russell Wilson, even early in his career, that guy knew how to slide. I mean, you can talk about
he had that baseball in him, man. He had that baseball energy in him, man.
He knew when to get down. And like Jackson, he's young. He wants to compete, and we love that about the guys. We love that young guys, but you gotta if that's your future, and you're not going anywhere now, there's no reason for him to just doing all these things. And I get it. You want to win. You're trying to keep your job, but I just feel like when you're seeing some of these games, you're seeing some of these design runs. It's like you're not. I just don't feel like he was thinking about. And again, I'm speculating. I don't know, but I feel like you're not coaching for the guy. You're coaching for your job. And again, I don't blame him. I would be doing the same thing if I was a coach, if I was a GM. You're trying to keep your job for as many years because moving sucks, even though
it does
low level, high level, right? So it's just, I don't know. It just felt like their writing was on the wall. It's like you either, produce, and again, they were just between them and the Ravens, this team was just, and the Niners, how many injuries did just every week? Oh, if you had one of these guys on your fantasy football team, I had Dart, I've had Scatterboo.
I definitely had Dart.
I've had
and Scatterboo as well, for sure.
I had Neighbors.
I didn't have much Neighbors. Yeah, I didn't. I was lucky to dodge that bullet.
Yeah, I had Neighbors on one of my teams, so I had on three of my teams. So it's again, they were hit with the injury bug, so we're not going to deny that. But it's again, and then he also got the kiss of death. He got the coach of the year, 2022.
Yes, so bro. The coach of the year means you're going to be fired in a few years from now. You know what I mean? You got 2 to 3 years, bro. Start getting
2 years after that,
somewhere elsewhere, man. You know what I mean? Because you're getting fired, which is crazy. Which is crazy because you're right. That was not that long ago.
And again, it might be one of those things. Is he a better coordinator than coach? Did he? Yes, he had some good moments, but I don't know. I guess I always look at the thing as how many teams are lining up to hire him as a coach afterwards? Is he going to be a coach or is he going to be lining up as a coordinator? Again, nothing wrong with that. We've seen guys go coaching, become coordinators, and just be fantastic coordinators the rest of their lives. Look at Chip Kelly. Again, I know he's not having the best time at with the Raiders, but again, look he's like, you know what? I'm going to go back to doing the thing I like to do, is being a coordinator. And
few of them came back. You know, Quinn went back to before he came back again as a head coach. You know, he dipped your hand. I mean, Kingsbury's back as
right,
one.
yeah. And
A lot of guys
Kingsbury's been
go back
one of the top
to that
candidates for being coach
situation.
next year.
Yeah. And you know how that goes. Like Josh,
Right.
Daniel. There's a lot of people I feel like who kind of go back and because I don't think they want to stay. They love the game. Also, I think in a situation where they know that they were a high level coordinator, so usually they can go back to that position a lot of times.
Right.
Me personally, I'm gonna take another side of this. I'm not necessarily gonna say that Daboll didn't deserve all the way to be fired. I just don't think he should have been fired alone. I feel like they should have just cleaned house. And that's kind of like my angle. My angle is feeling like he should not have been the only one fired because I don't know that all of it, unless you're responsible for all the decisions. The Jaden Daniels decision, I feel like it's a bad decision. It's Monday morning quarterbacking because Neighbors was still a great pick, but I think the most important pick would have been going after a QB. I think would have been their most important situation. And I'm trying to think when they were doing it, were they going to trade up? Because I'm trying to remember back to that draft if they even had an opportunity to take Jaden Daniels. Where were they? I feel like they did though. I got to go back and look at that draft and see if they moved up, where they could have took Jaden Daniels. I think they were definitely picking high for sure because Neighbors went high. Yeah, so they were definitely picking high, but I got to go back and see what the particulars were because Jaden Daniels was drafted second, if I'm not mistaken. So I gotta go back there, look at that draft and see if he slid to under. I don't recall him sliding back to below where they took Neighbors at, but I do think that them not addressing their QB situation in that draft did hurt.
You're right,
man, because you see how good you look with Jackson Dart. Just like when you did address it, you got Jackson Dart, Daniel Jones. They're forgiven in a certain sense with Daniel Jones having some success in Indy for still sticking with the guy. We're like, hey, we still had belief, so we stuck it out with him. We paid the guy because Daniel Jones is looking like the quarterback you paid now, with somebody else. You know what I mean? But he's looking like the quarterback that you actually paid. So you do have that to where he did go and actually become something with somebody else. So maybe what they were seeing, whether it's in camps or practice or whenever they would have him in, because I didn't see it a lot of times in the actual games. Maybe they're forgiven for holding on to their guy there, Eugene. But I mean,
and you're right. Jaden Daniels was taken second in that draft. So you're
so
correct.
It was a move up situation they would have had to try to move up and take him. Is what would have happened. Maybe make an offer or something like that. So he's not like he was there. But the Neighbors situation, I mean, you end up got a player still. You got a player. Maybe that's what keeps Shane in a job, you think? You think Shane gets to stay around because some of the players aren't necessarily terrible?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. They got an infrastructure, right? You've got a receiver. You've got, I mean,
a couple guys on defense, man.
You got a defense. Maybe build the offensive line. Maybe that's where you got. I mean, you've got pieces. I mean, I know Neighbors got to move. Those are going to take. Those pieces are going to take a minute to come back. But yeah, that's the thing. And that the crazy part is I think what got him fired obviously was, they were leading in like by 10 points or more in 3 or 4 games, and they lost.
Yeah,
And
man, epic collapse, bro.
Epic collapse, and that's the thing.
Bad
it's like,
month, man, for sure.
That right. So again, if he turns 3 of those 4 losses into wins, then it's probably a different conversation. But yeah, it's just it's like you have these things, and that's the thing when you watch their team. It's like, yes, they're not a good team, but you're not watching that team going, oh, this is like Tennessee. Like they have pieces. Like you can see.
Correct. Because you don't necessarily always think that the Giants are going to lose. Like, so the thing is, they're playing, and you don't get the same sense as you get watching loser teams that you just feel like they have no hope. Like that you just feel like it's just a foregone conclusion they're going to lose. With the Giants, Jackson Dart was showing enough fight, I think, and the team showing enough fight. The defense is not terrible. That it was giving people hope. Say, hey, they're in these games, and like you've just spoken on, they were winning a lot of these games. So, like, it shows that they had the wherewithal to compete.
Yeah,
but dropping the way that you did drop these games, dropping them in you're in the same season, all in like kind of a cluster there, probably would have helped if these kind of losses came more spread out over winning seasons that you can kind of survive losing like this. But it's hard to survive this when you've already coming off of you have a losing record as it is.
Yeah.
You're already coming in underwater. You got a losing record as it is. Your players are getting hurt. And the Jackson Dart concussion, you see what I'm saying? It's like death of 1,000 paper cuts, I guess, at this point now. There's a lot of different stuff kind of converging. And I just think that this seat, they should have been one more seat on that bus is all I'm saying, man. And, you know, one more seat. And then that seat for Shane, man, should have been there. I feel like they didn't address the QB position. And I feel like it was an important, and that was not a bad draft to address it.
No, you could have cut Penix, you could have cut McCarthy. And again, we can discuss Penix, we could discuss McCarthy, where those guys we think they're at now, but you could have done that. And you know, and that's the thing. There's a video floating around, like, you know, Daboll wanted Daniels. He's like, let's make, and that's the thing. No matter what, get the quarterback first. Figure out everything else after.
Right. And that's crazy because it was Shane. There was Shane, his son. I think they were doing the Hard Knocks. Remember the Hard Knocks with Shane's son? I think it was told him to take Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Even the son was like, take Jaden Daniels. It's like, if you can't.
No, what's interesting about that is even if they weren't able to move up, because I think they picked 4th, if I'm not mistaken, in that draft. Even if they weren't able to move up, Drake May was taken 3rd. I think maybe he could have been able to do some wheeling and dealing there, or try to do a pick spot from moving from 3rd to 4th. I don't think is something that New England would have thought was too crazy, depending on what the deal was and the amount of quarterbacks that were in that class. But you did still have like your Bo Nix, your McCarthy's, your Penix. Like, I think you said all those guys left. All those guys are starting for NFL teams.
You took Malik at 6. You had Penix, you had McCarthy, and you had Bo Nix right after.
So all those came after, right? And then Drake May, I think, was the 3rd pick in there. So they had to move up 3 picks to try to get the 3 picks if they were going to try to get up into that spot, not knowing necessarily what New England's going to do. But 3 picks, if we're just taking the draft order as it is, it's not a terrible amount. And then you still have 3 QBs that are starting for NFL teams now that were taken after that pick.
Right. And Drake May, who's tied with I can't remember who he's tied with. He's tied with Matthew Sanford as the for the MVP.
Both my fantasy QBs.
Right. So
both my fantasy QBs there. I'm hoping that at least with everybody gets on the mend, because we know the Scatterwood situation, that injury was terrible. The Neighbors injury was terrible. I'm hoping those guys get on the mend, because it's an exciting time in New York. If you're a New York Giants fan and they can figure the quarter, it's always exciting, Eugene. You see what's happening in New England. You see what happens in these places when the quarterback position gets figured out.
Yeah.
It's fun times are here again when the quarterback situation gets figured out. You know what I mean? You look at what's happening. We may knock Daniel Jones in New York, but I'm not going to knock the guy in Indy. They got a guy who can actually get the ball downfield. He's looking much better than Anthony Richardson. So it looks like you guys like a whole total different team now. Like, you're destroying guys.
Yeah.
So it's when the position gets figured out, maybe it's and this is also why I knock my Steelers so much, because I feel like it's too important of a position to not have figured out in the NFL. Like, you need it figured out. And if you're kind of lumbering around, you don't really know the guy, you're kicking the can down the road, you see what happens. Like, it maybe if Jackson Dart, maybe if they had, not Jackson Dart in particular, maybe if they had addressed the quarterback position last year, fortunes are a little bit different for them. Because they end up letting Daniel Jones go anyway. Like, I would have maybe more love for them if they still held on to it. So I could say, hey, well, at least they're delusional. Why'd you hold on to the guy? But at least you had the courage of your convictions. But you didn't draft the guy, and you didn't hold on to your guy.
No. Yeah. And again, he becomes one of these stories that oh wow, look at he comes in with the Baker Mayfield, the Sam Darnold, I know Gino's regressed this year, but I mean
For
the
sure.
years before that, right? He's become those stories of like, oh wow, he moves on to another team. It's like and 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 we saw like Daniel Jones didn't look good against your Steelers, but he came back and played a great game against not great game, but he looked good against our home team, the Falcons. So it's when you got it figured out, you got to just when you get the quarterback figured out, and even look at your Steelers. I mean, they haven't looked good the last couple weeks, but at least they have their guy, they have their quarterback, and they're gonna ride with him. It's like you have your ride or die guy when you're just like, oh, when you have so many teams that don't or they have it and they don't figure out how to use it. That's the most frustrating
I
thing.
think that's what
I
the
think it's
Giants are going to be working with. At
yeah,
least they have that. It's
yeah,
going to be an
they
attractive
have it.
job, in my opinion. I think it's an attractive job because the skill pieces are there, and maybe that's what's actually keeping Joe Shane in the job. Is that those skill pieces are there? And that's kind of
Yeah,
like the part that he's responsible for.
he addressed those skilled position players, and he's got you got the pieces. Like you don't watch the Giants and go, okay, I don't see nothing. When you watch like the Jets and you're like, oh, I don't know what's going on here. It's like it's all. But again, at least with the Jets, we talked about, at least they pulled the ripcord, right?